Hello ladies and gentlemen, you're joining us once again for SLR Tier 3 and we have a action-packed race ahead of us tonight. We've got 20 drivers on the grid and as you can see from your stream there, it's a wet one. Joining me in the commentary booth today is none other than Gerla. How are you doing, sir?
Yep. Hello, I'm right, and as you said, wet qualifying. We don't know about the race yet, but at least qualifying should be very interesting.
Yes, I predicted this. I don't know if you saw in Tier 3 General, I said it's going to be a moist one, it's going to be wet, and it certainly is. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, right.
Don't know about the race, but yeah, there's a split here between wet runners and enter runners. So at the minute, we've got a couple of wet times on the board: 129.7, 130. Yeah, so we'll see what kind of times the enter boys are running. Maybe we can join Wimpy as he makes his way through the S's. There is a Daddy Otis. Looks like he's disconnected there, which will put Wimpy off a little bit. But yeah, there's the first enter time, 131.8 by Kebab. Oh, and 129 actually, 0.8. So it looks like there is not much difference between the enters and wets right now.
Yeah, a really good lap from Matthias on those inters. Let's see what Wimpy can do here. But I think generally the inters are maybe slower than the wets. It seems like. Let's see what Wimpy does. Yeah, he joins the inters banner. So I think, I don't know, maybe it's the same, or maybe just Matthias and Tale put on really good laps.
Yeah, I mean, I did the race yesterday in Tier 4, and it was similar kind of conditions. It looked like full wet when you looked at the track, but the actual race engineers were telling you there's no difference. The enters were slightly faster actually at the end of the session, so maybe it's like just driver preference at this point, and there's not much difference between the two because we do have a enter runner in P3, which indicates they are pretty fast out there. There's not much between them. As Terra goes P2 on enter, so that kind of hammers home the point. But Motocrosser currently
Yeah.
P1 with a 129 flat on wet, so maybe wets just have that slight advantage right now.
And Motocrosser just invalidated the lap he was on, so he's now going for a third run, which when it's raining you can do actually a lot of laps, as Matthias goes for a provisional pole with inters. So yeah, it seems like the inters are maybe a little bit faster now. Yeah, it definitely, the rain calmed down, I think.
Yeah, there's a dry line forming on track, which might help these enter runners as well. But really, I think this is really down to driver skill. What the rain tends to take away, any track advantage you have for your setup, and it's really down to your driver skill level. So we're going to see the best drivers at the front here, I'd imagine. And Keyboard Magson setting a 129.7 on enters. And that's quite impressive, as we always say, he's on keyboard, so even better.
Yeah, there's the house of Church going really slowly in the back straight. I don't know if he's had any contact with the wall.
Oh yeah, that's George MS. Yeah, he's going very slowly out there actually. I'm not sure why that is.
Maybe he's out of fuel. I think he's out of fuel.
Yeah, I think you might be right, yeah. Well, actually, I don't think so, no. He's able to accelerate pretty well. I think he's maybe just having a few issues in the cockpit there. But I want to join Kirst. We've got Kirst here. He drove yesterday in Tier 4, got P7, I believe. And right now he's on wets. We'll join him as he goes into Sector 2. This track is very difficult. It's one of the more difficult tracks on the calendar, but in wet conditions, just adds that extra element of difficulty. And he is tiptoeing around Sector 2. Right now he's a bit afraid to put the throttle down and gets a bit wide on the double right-hander and then down to the S's, and you can just see him trying to get on the power and it's not working out for him. On the back end is not agreeing.
Yeah, it's really slippery. Through the S's he's going really slowly compared to the dry. Let's see what he can do in this third sector as he goes into the stadium. section, which is really technical. He locks up a little bit. Really slow on traction. There's George. And the last corner, really careful not to spin as well. And he gets a P15, so yeah, as we've seen, the drivers are having lots of difficulties to try and put on good laps. I think it's definitely a good time for Inters right now. I think the Inters will be the best tire right now.
Yeah, and there's 9 minutes left on track as Kirst gets it all wrong going out of turn 3. Slides onto the outskirts of the track there. He would not... he would have had his heart in his mouth there as he avoids the wall. But yeah, Kirst here, I mean, you know, he put a P15 on the board, which isn't ideal, but at the same time, he's no assist, so we have to commend him for that. It's even... that just adds another level of difficulty to driving this track in these conditions, so 130.3 is nothing to be laughed at. I've got 2 drivers still to set a lap. I think Heze is out there. Darrow's on an outlap at the minute, but I'll follow Heze around, see what he can do. He's going for the S's, and he's got a Force India. Is it Force India or Racing Point? I keep forgetting.
Racing Point, it's Racing Point.
I'm stuck in the past. Yeah, so it's he's got a Racing Point behind him there. Hopefully it won't put him off too much. It looks like a valid lap for now, so we should get a time on the board here. Should Heze SX, currently P19. Should jump up the order a little bit with this lap time. And just tiptoeing through the stadium section. It's so easy to just put too much power into the throttle and watch that back end slide out on you. Especially this last corner.
He goes P17. Yeah, that stadium section is... I find it really slippery in the dry, so I can't imagine what the drivers are feeling in the wet.
What I was thinking yesterday was, when in these conditions, was please dry up. Please. This is horrible.
Yeah, but that's what the drivers are thinking now. Maybe we'll have a dry race as we did yesterday.
And I tell you what, we've got Kebab here in P4. We missed that one, but he's gone ahead of Motocrosser on these Inters, so he's found a bit of pace. Radios as well, he did really well last week. I believe he got a podium, and he's up there in P3 at the moment, so I'll have to keep an eye on the top end of this grid here, because I reckon with 6.5 minutes to go, we're going to see a lot of changes, as this track does seem to be drying up a little bit maybe. Still raining like, but it... yeah, and Kebab is invalidated his lap. We've got Terror on a lap as well. Let's see, who else have we got on a lap?
We've got Motocrosser who's up 5/10 on his time. So right now he's looking for a top 3 lap, I think. He's changed to Inters, so let's see what he can do in these final corners. Seems good. He was 5/10 up on his time in sector 2.
Oh, this should be good. Oh, 26.6. Wow. Yeah,
really good lap.
I think that indicates it is drying up slightly, ever so slightly. Motocross are able to make great advantage of that. Ace Boy's P2 now. And look at this, where the times are coming in. Wimpy in P2 now, 126.7, just 1/10 off Motocrosser. Ace Boy's P3, 26.9. And Keeper Magnussen as well, 27.5, puts him P4 for now.
Yeah, and Terror did a purple sector 2. So now going into sector 3, Redeos moves out of the way. He was up 2 seconds on his time in sector 2. So let's see if he can put it on provisional pole.
Oh, yes, nicely done, 25.9, first of the 25. So this track is definitely coming to the drivers. And he's, yeah, it looks like, as you say, purple sector 2. Maybe purple sector 3 as well, I think, on my screen.
And someone's off his Kebab. He was really slowly out of the S's. I think he had an incident there. Yeah, he has half of his wing missing. so he's had a bit of experience with the walls there.
Both Alpha boys were in the top 10 there momentarily, but I think someone just pipped him. Look, I think it was Joel actually. Joel won P5 with 27.4. And let's have a look at his teammate actually. XTXB is about to. Well, he's. Is he in? Oh, he's invalidated this lap and the next. So yeah, he must have came out of the final corner there, invalidated his lap and this lap as well. So he's currently P16. And
Matthias goes to provisional pole with a 25.9, really close to Tara's lap.
Futuristic as well, about to cross the line, goes P8 for now. And who else is coming around the stadium section? We can see, I think Kirst is one of those boys. He's currently P19. He's got the enders on this time.
He's on a zero deployment though, so I think he's about to start his lap.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, as he.
Oh, P6 actually. Yeah, so I think maybe what he did there was turn the ERS off for the last sector there. You know, because it is so tight. Maybe that played into his advantage. You know, with the traction zones there. G Chris, P8, 127.4. So it's these lap times are coming in thick and fast, and I'm wondering who else is gonna get into the top 10 on these final minutes of the race. We've got George MS. Where is he? He's just making his way through turn 1, 2, and 3. Opens. I was about to say opens DRS. Of course, he does not. It's full wet conditions here.
Yeah.
And this sequence of corners I found particularly hard to navigate in these conditions. You really are trying to hit your apexes and tiptoe around these and just carry as much speed as possible. He does have a bit of traffic ahead of him here in the S's. Actually, for me, it looks like he's got a disconnected Daddy Otis in front of him. Might not hold him up too much here.
Well, for me, Daddy Otis is not ghosted, so.
Oh right, okay. Oh, and yep.
Invalidated.
Oh no, I wonder if that was the car had put him off there, but he will have a
Tilde behind him though. Tilde, he's currently P17 and he's up 1.5 seconds on his time. Did a purple sector 2 on my screen, so.
Yeah, and I think Kirst actually got an improvement on his time there. P5 now, 26.8, so Kirst really dialing into this track right now. Oh, Tilde as well, P5 for Tilde in the Alfa Tauri, another great lap. So 25s, 26s seem to be the times that will guarantee you a top 10 position right now, as we're at 1.5 minutes left in this session.
Yeah, as Motocrosser and Matthias are always changing provisional poles. Now it's Matthias in P2, maybe he can steal it back again from Motocrosser.
I think Motocrosser just set a lap there. I think he might have just improved on his lap time as well, 25.4, unless I'm mistaken. I probably am.
Yeah. No, I think he did.
Oh,
and Matthias didn't improve.
XP did improve. He's up in the top 10 now. He's 27.4. He's actually matching the time of Joel, 127.407, identical lap times for the Force India boys. So very evenly matched. And we've got a whole. It's a massive build-up actually in the stadium section. Let's see if I can grab someone there. George looks to be in that. Oh, and there's guys slowing down, you know, to start their lap, and it's really causing chaos back here as people are on hot laps.
Oh, there's wings flying already.
Yeah, that is not ideal. You can't really be doing that in these conditions, just slowing down before the final corner when you got a whole train of cars behind you.
Oh. And while Kirst goes P4.
Oh, nicely done. 26 flat. Torska is out, but he's P13. So he does have a time on the board. I think he might have. Oh, Bowman as well retired. So we're saying, guys, yeah, with no time left in the session. If you're on a lap now, this is it. It's one and done. And I'm watching George MS here. He's behind Ace Boys in the Red Bull. And George currently P20, but I wonder if he can put a decent lap together here. And Terra as well. I believe he's on a lap out there. And Cursed, Keyboard Manson, and Wimpy as well. So I think
Yeah, Wimpy hasn't validated, so Wimpy's not gonna improve.
yeah, he pulls into the pit stand, so he's out of it. Cursed, he's also invalidated, so he's out of it. We've got Terror. He is not invalidated this lap. He is going for the stadium section. Is he going to put it on pole? Currently P3 for now. And I was about to say he's going to pull into the pits there, but no, he's just taking a really tight line on the final corner. Isn't able to improve for now.
Joel is the next to cross the line. He's 5/10 on his time. Let's see what he can do.
Oh, nice.
P5.
Nice job from him. Yeah, also we got... Oh, George puts a P17, so is able to improve a little bit. Keeper Magson not able to improve his time, and I think that's it for now. Everybody's set their lap time, yeah.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, that's it. Motocrosser gets pole position.
Yeah, Motocrosser leading the championship in Tier 3, and I think he's got it in the bag already. He did miss out on last week's race and the week before as well due to connection issues. But I believe he is leading the championship by quite some way, and I don't think he's really under any threat.
Yeah, no, I think he has a comfortable lead over Matthias, who is in second place.
So right now we're looking at Motocrosser, he's pole position. Matthias P2, so just like the championship standings. Motocrosser P1, Matthias P2. We got Terra in P3. 2SRL Cursed as well, P4. Great showing from him, a great improvement from yesterday. Wonder if he did some wet lap practice before this one. Joel 8, last week's winner, I believe, in P5. Keyboard Magson P6 in, and Wimpy P7, P8.
Yeah, as I'm reading chat, and the Hammer predicts 11 DNFs.
11, okay, conservative as always.
As X Crystals predicts 4 and Dragon 5 DNFs.
Yeah, Hammer, we don't have Gangu in this lobby, so I don't think that's going to happen, but, you know, I don't want to curse myself. Commentator's curse. That won't happen, and then first corner, just everybody dies. 5 DNF for Dragon. ACC better. Oh, fake news there in the chat. Gangu! Yes, Gangu. What a classic moment in league racing that was. So it looks like a dry session here for the race. Seeing blue skies as we're waiting on the guys loading in their strategies and adjusting their fuel loads, maybe adjusting their front wing. Because I mean, when you see a wet quali, you do have drivers that have wet setups, but then you compromise yourself for the race. So a lot of guys will just adjust the front wing and maybe a few other things. But that means they can then reset the front wing for the dry race, and you know, so it might have given them an advantage in quali and not compromise them in the dry conditions.
Yeah, that's right, and I wonder what strategies the drivers will pick, because in this track there's a lot of them. I wonder if they'll start with mediums or with softs.
Yeah, I mean, I'll bring up tire info there. So there is quite a range of strategies playing out. We've got Bowman on hards, which is an interesting strat. But yeah, as you say, there is a whole range of different strategies here. I mean, One Stop won the race in 2SRL Tier 3, I believe. And Two Stop is pretty fast as well. It's quite even between the two. I mean, a big factor in those strategy calls is the safety car. Is there a safety car? Because it can really play into the hands of the two-stoppers.
Yeah, definitely. If there's a safety car on the beginning of the race, the guys should be going for a two-stop.
Yeah, and I always, like before I started the race yesterday with a bunch of guys in VC, and I said, listen guys, just be careful on turn 1, 2, 3 in Mexico. I have plenty of memories of a lot of crashes happening during that time on the first lap, as everybody's eager to try and get position.
Yeah, and it's a long way to the first corner, so people will get slipstream and will want to overtake, and maybe there's not so much space. So, and turn 1 and 2 is really tight, so there's really opportunity for things to go wrong there. But let's hope we don't have a Russia again.
Yeah, the less said about that, the better. um, but yeah, we're in store for a great race here. I mean, look at the top 10. Got a whole range of very fast drivers, and even outside the top 10, there is a bunch of guys that can contest for points quite easily. I'm thinking Futuristic, he's usually one of the guys up in the top 5. Kebab as well, showing some great pace there in quali. XTXB as well, I think he's a kind of underrated driver.
There's Cursed is now ghosted and he left the session, so
Oh
that means
no, oh
he'll
no.
maybe jump the start. He's AI. But
Oh
yeah,
no.
go ahead for the start.
Right, okay, here we go then. The lights are up. And as always, there's going to be a delayed start, but we get underway pretty fast, and Motocrosser with a pretty good start. I think Matthias is going to come under pressure from the Merc of Terror, who pulls alongside and is almost past him before the first corner here. Yeah, and Terra is swinging out. He's actually going for a move on Motocrosser as well. He's got the inside line. It's free wide into turn 1. Thankfully, Terra actually backs out and it's back to P3 for as he exits turn 3. And are you seeing any carnage at the back there? I see a Merc off. It's Wimpy. Yeah,
Ooh,
Wimpy's he's had a moment.
Yeah,
I don't see any damage there.
His wing is. Yeah, I don't think he's got any damage, but Mantaya's got past Motocrosser, and that is crucial for him because he's on the soft, while Motocrosser is on the mediums.
Oh, and
now Terra got. Yeah,
yeah,
he's
Terra's
keyboard.
Yeah, he's got his keyboard's looking pretty pacey on these mediums. You'd think Terra would have a bit of pace on him, but I don't know. Keyboard's making that keyboard work for him, and he's up to P3. So good move from him.
Yeah, I think the rest of the start was relatively clean. Just Wimpy spinning, possibly some contact there, but.
Yeah, Kurtz was a big loser there with that disconnect, but he is in P8. He's back in the car, thankfully. And Matthias setting the fast lap, but we do have a change of position.
Oh, Matthias, what happened? Oh, no, I think it's just the...
No, I think you're right. Matthias is falling way down the order here. Oh, wait, what's going on
I
here?
think it's just the timing. For me, it's just Matthias still in the lead, so I think something happened to the timing.
This seems to be a regular feature in F1 at the minute. A lot of desync or a lot of these kind of timing board issues. So Matthias is actually out in front right now, and I believe it's Motocrosser in P2. Yeah, Motocrosser P2. So hopefully that will sort itself out. But yeah, that seems to be a regular occurrence now, and it's really not great when you're trying to call a race and trying to see what's going on.
Yeah. But now something happened to keyboard. He's down to P5 when he was P3, I think. So he must have made a mistake somewhere.
And one thing we haven't mentioned here, as they just make their way through the S's, is penalties. We're going to see a lot of time penalties in this one, I believe.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's lots of people who can reach the...
Oh, and there's McLaren Heze, I think, at the back. He's had a moment. He's back in P17 now. But just look how... Oh, actually, Wimpy's on the back of the... You know, he's not too far off, but you've got Futuristic.
I think someone spun... I think... Yeah, that Yoti spun on the last corner and he goes straight for the pits. As long as with the SASX.
Yeah, Darius, I think he's decent for me. He's saying he's pitted, or he's in the pits, but he's actually in the stadium section when I go and join him on board. But let's just collect ourselves here, our thoughts, and see what is actually going on in this race. Matthias is P1. We've got Motocrosser P2. Matthias is actually 2.7 seconds ahead. He is on the softer tire compound, so he's trying to make these work for him. But Terra is also on the soft tire compound, but he's stuck behind Motocrosser, and I believe this is going to cost him, as Motocrosser on those medium tires. There we go, first penalty of the day in Bowman with 3 seconds.
Yeah, as you said, Terra will want to get past Motocrosser as soon as he can, while his softs still have life in them. because they die pretty quickly. I think they only last for like 8 laps in good conditions.
Yeah, they fell off the cliff pretty quickly, and we're going to see Terra here. He's got DRS. He'll have it for this first straight and the second straight for the activation point. I think it's around the final corner of the track, but it gives you DRS for the main straight and the second straight then, and then you've got that third straight as well. Has its own separate activation point, but he's not able to pull up for now. He's running quite low on ERS as well, so he might have used quite a lot of that, thinking he might have got that move done, but Motocrosser holding on for now. Look at Motocrosser's ERS as well. He's sitting at 65%. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's been saving what he normally does, and Matthias as well has lots of ERS. So they are playing the long game.
Yeah.
Motocrosser knows that if Terra passes him, it's not a big deal because of the strategies. But of course he'll try to hold on for this P2
and Cursed
as much as he can.
Cursed on the back of Keeper Magson as they head into the stadium section. Not really an overtaking spot, although in saying that, Cursed did overtake me at this very hairpin, and there was a bit of contact there, but I'm not salty about that at all. Oh, and well, Cursed is right on the back of Keeper Magnussen here. I reckon he's going to get him easy, even without the use of DRS. So he opens DRS now, but he's pretty much alongside, and I say that move is in the bag for Cursed. And Terra as well, he's closing right up in the back of Motocrosser, but just doesn't have enough overspeed to make the move. Is he going to get him into the second straight though?
Ooh, further back we have Wimpy and Kebab going round Torska. They overtook him one from each side, and now Wimpy with a dive on Kebab makes it stick. So Wimpy up 2 positions in just 2 corners.
Wow, he's well up the road, yeah. He's got past Kebab there and almost stretched a second lead out already. Seen a yellow flag briefly there. Oh, no, Tilda. Sorry, Tilda and XP going side by side for the S's. And Tilda backs out of that one. XP holding on to P11 for now. Sorry, Carla.
P10, you mean? Yeah, that's what I was pointing out. XP down the inside on a corner. You don't usually see overtakes, but
yeah, and keep me right there, because Daddy Otis is showing P3 for me now, so I think he's desynced. So I think it's messing up my positionings here.
For me, Daddy Otis is P19. So. And look at Matthias's lead. Now it's Ace Boy who's in P2.
Wow, so we missed that completely. Ace Boy's past Terror and Motocrosser somehow. And Curse right on the back of Terror as well.
Terror still with no ERS, that will cost him. And Joel still close to Keyboard, so didn't Joel overtake Keyboard? Or am I?
You're probably asking the wrong person, because everything's happening. It's like a blur right now. But yeah, Joel is currently P7 then. Radius right behind him, P8. So oh, and is that an? Oh, no, it's not. It's the desync again. XP and P10, looking to close up on P9.
Zwimpy is still getting time and is now on the back of Bowman, who's still on hard. So, oh, Wimpy with a big dive.
Nice move there. He just sends it up inside and gets past him cleanly. See, he's on a rampage right now. He's on a mission. P13 from pretty much last after that first lap incident.
Yeah, he knew that Bowman was on hard, so he would be slower. And he just sent it, and now it's Kebab chasing Wimpy, trying to go on the left of Bowman, but Bowman squeezing to the grass. Kebab has to back out, or else it could have been a big crash.
And just while all that was happening, we got Joel made his way past Keyboard on the main straight there, and is up to P6 for now. Just take a quick...
Yeah, so at the front, things have stabilized a little bit. Kirst now getting at least 2 warnings, and he gets a penalty. But Matthias has a really big lead now. He's running away in this race.
Yeah, he's just coming out of the final corner, whereas the Ace Boys is, yeah, he's just making his way through the final corner now. And, I mean, you know, this race, these guys really need to get the hammer down. I mean, Matez has got that 6.7 gap, but Ace Boys only 1.1 ahead of the first medium runner, Motocrosser. So depending on what strategy these guys go for, I mean, they're either going to try and stretch these softs out, and maybe can you get the mediums to the end in a two-stop, or is it just soft hard is the only option right now, apart from the two-stopper?
Oh, you're asking if you can do soft medium?
Yeah, can you do it? Is it possible? I mean, I'm
I
sure.
don't think so. No, I think soft medium is. You'd have to stretch it too much. I don't think it is possible.
Yeah, so soft hard, or it's going to be like a soft medium, medium soft, medium soft, possibly. So yeah, I mean, this is what this is what I like about Mexico. Is this kind of mix up with strategies. Usually it's just the one stop is OP, but here you can get a two stop. If you go for the two stop, you're always on the best tire really. Whereas if you go for a one stop and you go on hards, hard is not the tire to be on. It can be quite demoralizing and quite slippy actually on the traction.
Yes, on lap 9, no one pits. On lap 8, I mean. Driver starting lap 9 right now, and I think from this point we'll start to see people pitting. As Matthias just keeps increasing that lead. Now Kirst is really close to the back of Terror.
Yeah, once you get through sector 1, it is quite hard to pass until pretty much until sector 1 again. You can get a move done, as we saw from Wimpy. I mean, if you're feeling brave enough, you can try and send one up the inside. But like the likes of the S's, you do not want to go too wide there. You do not want to try and go for a move there.
Yeah.
It can result in an incident, or at the very least, an off track.
Yeah, I just saw a move from Janis Kurias on Rodeos. Now XTXP really close to Rodeos. I think he's gonna go for it. Yeah, he goes for the inside.
Ooh, and contact. Rodeos going
a little
wide
bit
there.
of contact.
But XP up to P9. So these guys are proving me wrong. You can, of course, then pass in Sector 2 and Sector 3. But of course, you got that DRS, you know, straight coming out of the S's. You get a really nice run out of the S's. You got the DRS. You know, the move is possible, but it's difficult, and it's most likely you're going to get the most of these moves done on the start-finish straight. As Radius is, yeah, he's got DRS on the main straight there behind XP. XP, he was going to send it down the inside of turn 2 there. Thinks better off it. So XP holding on to P9 for now.
Tilda and Wimpy were the first ones to pit. They both went to mediums, so I think they're gonna do soft, medium, soft. Now Wimpy comes out of the pits right behind Futuristic, who is on old mediums. Futuristic, who had, I didn't see it, but I think he had some kind of incident in those opening laps, and yeah, the McLarens are not having a good race.
And Matez staying out on these softs, so Ace Boy here, he's losing a lot of time. He's 9 laps on these softs. Is he thinking about pitting right now? He is indeed. He peels into the pits. Motocrosser right behind him on these mediums. So I think it's the right call from Ace Boy, as he was losing a lot of pace there and about to get mugged by a bunch of medium runners. And we've got a few guys pitting. Ace Boys, Curse, Terror as well in the pits.
Yeah, I'm surprised Matthias didn't pit. He had such a big lead that he's gonna lose a little bit of time right now, unless he's trying to make that one stop work.
Yeah, there's a guy in chat, Adam Stevens, says it is possible, it's just not good to do. So we'll see how that pans out. Might be,
Yeah.
he might be, you know, just hoping maybe there's going to be a safety car soon, and I can, you know, gamble on that. But he is in P1, so he doesn't want to gamble too much. Ace Boy's coming out in P10 then, so he is the first, or you know, the highest position of the guys that pitted there on that last lap.
Yeah, Iceboy, I think he lost a little bit of time to Terror. Terror comes out of the pits right behind him.
Yeah.
And now Matthias pits, so let's see. Yeah, he's going for the... No, he's going for the mediums. So he's also on a 2-stop, I think.
So Motocross are taking over the lead of this race for now, but he has yet to pit. There's a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Radios. That is not going to boot him well at the end of the race. Be kicking himself right now.
Yeah, definitely. So all the soft runners are pitted for mediums. Let's see. Well, Matthias is still a long way ahead of Ace Boy.
Oh, and look at that
Yeah.
Wimpy fastest lap there on those fresh mediums, 1:17.9. And Terror as well. He's right on the back of Ace Boys here. I think this track's starting to come to him a wee bit. He's getting a wee bit more dialed in, and you've got Bowman ahead that might hold up Ace Boys a little bit. Might just open the door for Terror to get through. We'll keep an eye on
Yeah,
as well.
Bowman is going really slowly on those old hars, and this is a place where it's really hard to overtake. So Ace Boy will have to wait for a good place, but meanwhile Terror is making time on him.
Terror getting DRS, Ace Boy as well. DRS as they head into the stadium section. And yeah, Terror's going to be right on the back. He almost hits Ace Boys there on the, you saw that concertina effect. But he's going to be right on the back of Ace Boys. Is he going to be able to get a move done here? Of course, Ace Boys will have DRS as well on the main straight, which will be crucial for him. And Ace Boys has a whole load of DRS or ERS stored up, almost 80% there. Terror choosing not to activate overtake here too much, so he's happy enough just to store it up for now and get. Oh, and Bowman's fighting him through turn 2 and 3. There was a bit of contact. Oh, and there's another bit of contact.
Oh no!
And Terror is off into the wall. Yeah.
Oh, he didn't hit the wall, so he doesn't have damage, but that's really unfortunate for him. Bowman didn't want to let that position go too easily, and the two drivers made contact. So Ace Boy is now on his own after Bowman pits, obviously. And yeah, he's gonna try and go after Matthias now, but Matthias is so far up.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Terra. That puts him right out of the running for the podium there. He was looking pretty good. Obviously very eager to get past Bowman, but Bowman was fighting it, and he's well entitled to do that, but just didn't work out there for Terror. He knew he had to get past Bowman, or else Ace Boys would have just run off. So, unfortunate incident for him.
Yeah, as Cursed goes past Torska, who has still to pit, and now Radeos is maybe going for a move on Torska as well. Oh, he tries to go for the outside, he breaks later, and he's now going around the outside at turn 1, the inside of turn 2, and outside of turn 3 again, and he does it into P11.
Yeah, and I think Terror's going to get Torska as well here. Yep, he gets past him. Both cars have DRS here, but Terror just had that bit of overspeed coming out of the turn 3. And he's in damage limitation mode. He's got Wimpy not too far off him now as well, so both the Merc guys not having the best of days here.
Yeah, Matthias is now catching the old medium runners who still didn't pit, and he catches Keyboard, but Keyboard is the first one to pit actually, so Matthias gets a little bit more free air. He has the arrest though, which is gonna help him. And Keyboard, let's see where he where he comes out of the pits. He was behind Ace Boy. He's gonna be ahead of Terra surely, but
Yeah, it looks like he's coming out.
Deus.
Oh, he's actually, yeah, Terra gets him actually. There you go. So Terra up to P12, but keyboard
Yeah,
on
but
these fresh
keyboard.
tires.
He goes for hard, so he's gonna try the one stop. Let's see how that plays out for him.
And I'm just looking at the Haas boys here. Haas, I've got Correas P4 currently, still to pit on these mediums, and George MS, he's not doing too bad there. I mean, he was P17 at the start of the race, currently P6 on these 14 lap old mediums, so these guys play their cards right. There should be a good bunch of points on the table for Haas.
Yeah, I remember Janice Correas asked us not to talk too much about him because last race he was P3 and we talked about him and he crashed. So
And
he's a little bit afraid now.
Yeah, I'll not mention him too much, but he is in the pits there with Joel. So Joel and Correas in the pits, and Joel putting on hard, as is Correas. So both these guys going for the hard tire compound, which means they're on a one-stop strat. Let's see how that comes out.
Bowman should also be on the one stop because he started with hards. Yeah, let's see where they can finish. And if they don't get too many penalties, they're on for a good position.
There's a big gaggle of cars here, P6 to looks like P14 almost. Quite a trend developing here as we've got a mix of strategies playing out. So a lot of guys on fresh tires, a lot of guys on harder compounds. So we're going to see, I think we're going to see a few moves here in the next couple of laps. We'll try and keep an eye on this as best as we can.
Yeah, Janice Correas comes out right behind Terra, who is fighting Rodeo. So yeah, I mean, Cursed just almost lost it at the end of the S's, and he locks up, goes wide.
Yeah, so I go off track twice there, so maybe another penalty. Oh, there's Keyboard Manson as we're talking about penalties, picks up another penalty. Worth having a look at those at the minute. Radius is the biggest loser here with penalties, 11 seconds. As Motocross are making his first pit stop, second pit stop. Let me check. Yeah, first pit stop.
He's making his first. Yeah, he started on medium, so he's also going for the one stop. There's a lot of people going for the one stop because they.
Oh, sorry, a girl got cursed making a move on Bowman, and he forces his way past. Bowman's under a lot of pressure here. He's on these harder compound tires, 16 laps on him, and look at the guys lining up behind him, eager to get past him. He's under a lot of fret right now.
Yeah, and Janice Correas going for a dive on Rodeos, and he gets him down inside, so really good move from him. Now he joins the back of Terror, who is still waiting to get past Bowman.
Yeah, these guys who are on two-stop strategies, they really need to get past these guys quick because they have another pit stop to do, so it's really important that they get this move done as early as possible. I think talking about that, Joel is the guy behind Bowman right now. He's next in line, and you can see the overspeed there he carried into the corner, almost hitting Bowman. Both guys on hard compound tires, but Joel has a fresh set. And
yeah, and if Bowman doesn't pit here, which he doesn't, I think Terror is gonna have another go at him. So let's see how that plays out. Yeah, Joel going for an easy move now, and Terror, I think this is a deja vu of last time.
Yeah, I think he's gonna make sure that this move is pretty clean. Yeah, Bowman letting them through there without much of a fight this time.
Yeah, now Bowman is conserving his tires now. He didn't fight. So, but we have Keyboard going for a dive. He locks up. Rodeos goes wide. They touch wheels. Rodeos now on the inside, gets that move or defends it well, but now goes really wide. So he's compromised. But yeah, Keyboard didn't get a great exit too. So
Wimpy having a look there as well. We thought he could maybe capitalise there, but he's held behind keyboard for now. Wimpy on these 7-lap old mediums, so yeah, he wants to get past keyboard as quickly as possible. He's one of these drivers with another pit stop to do, whereas keyboard does not, I believe.
Yeah, but ooh, there's a really big gaggle of cars now, and behind them all there's George, who's on a fresh soft, so he wants to overtake everybody. And I think there's gonna be a lot of overtakes now as they're going to the main straight. George sets the fastest lap, he's deploying everything, trying to go for Wimpy. Wimpy is gonna go down the inside of keyboard maybe. No, he doesn't, but lots of people go wide. Keyboard goes wide. Now George tries to have a look at Wimpy, who's got a bad exit. George goes for the outside of turn 5, I think, or 4. And Wimpy just doesn't have the RS to fight it, but he
sends it
later.
down the inside. Yeah, nice move from Wimpy. Oh, and contact. It's side by side through sector 2 here. Yeah, Wimpy was having none of it. He oh, and Wimpy gets it wrong coming out of the double right-hander, and that allows George to get the move done. So Wimpy back down to P14, George up to P13.
George up into P12. Bowman gets another penalty. Further up, Terror is lining up a move on Joel on the next straight.
Yeah, Terror's done well to recover from that incident with Bowman, and this move is probably going to be pretty easy. Yep, gets the move done well before the actual corner comes up. Torska, time penalty. We're seeing a lot of these time penalties coming in, and I will bring that information. There's XP, cursed another time penalty as well.
Keyboard goes for the inside of Bowman. They both lock up. Bowman's still on the inside now, but Keyboard gets a great run out. Oh, George had a look up on Bowman, and he almost got the same fate as Terra did, but now Bowman defends to the inside, so George can't go. Oh.
And again, Wimpy trying that move where he's breaking late in the
George
inside.
stops Bowman. Bowman saves it. Barely saves it. George goes wide. It's all kicking off here. I think George must have wing damage because he clipped Bowman.
Yeah, none visible on the car, but yeah, it was quite a contact there. And Wimpy trying to capitalize again, but just can't make his way through. He's getting increasingly frustrated in that cockpit, I'm sure, but he just needs to keep the head down. As you can see, all these penalties on screen at the minute. I mean, everybody but, is it 5 drivers have penalties right now? Radio's the most, 14 seconds currently. And we're only on lap 21 of 36. Oh, Wimpy in the pits then. So he's going in for his final pit stop. He's been on another fresh set of mediums. And comes out of the pits in, looks like P16, maybe P17.
Yeah. I think Bowman is still on those old hards, so I think Bowman will try to make the hard soft strategy. As George now has a look on keyboard, but he can't do anything this lap.
We've got a little battle here forming between XP, Motocrosser Cursed, and Terror will be glad of this. This will play into his hands as he will be able to gain a bit of time as these guys fight it out.
Yeah, I was just saying that. Well, we had those predictions of the DNFs, and so far there's no one DNF'd, so we're looking good for maybe a no DNF race. But yeah, let's see. There's still much that can happen.
Oh, Kurt's going for a move on the inside of Motocrosser in turn 1. Oh, they're side by side for turn 2 and 3. There is contact there, no damage that I can see. But yeah, Kurt's eager to get this move done. And that contact, I think, has cost him a bit of time there. He has fallen back a little bit. Still on the back of Motocrosser and XP.
Yeah, but all these guys around motocross will still have to pit while he's going until the end, and he has no penalty, so I think he's on a good position. Um, Matthias though is really far ahead, so maybe he'll be the one to fight with Motocrosser, who will be in the lead when everyone pits.
Yeah, Matthias with a 13-second lead right now, so he's looking like he's got this in the bag. Ace Boy's P2. We're still wondering if these guys are going to pit. I mean, Matthias is probably in a position now where he can afford to pit on the softs, but I wonder if Ace Boys is thinking maybe I could just run to the end on these tires if possible. I'm not sure what tire wear he's running
Yeah,
at the minute.
I think they have to pit. Wimpy pitted for new mediums when he was on 10 laps mediums, so they're all reaching 10 laps right now. I don't think he can go an extra 10 and more. As Janice Correa is now maybe looking for a move on Joel. They're both on the hard compound tire. Janice launches it down inside. Joel goes really wide. Oh no, they have contact.
Nice save there from Joel. And Joel's shoulders ghosted there. I think that was just because of the contact maybe, but yeah, Janice Caress is forcing his way through there.
Yeah, Janice tried a really big dive on the inside and pushed Joel wide.
Race settling down a wee bit now, but we do have a wee battle here between the AlphaTauri boys. They're currently P13, P14, running pretty close behind Bowman here. I wonder if they're going to try and work together to try and get past Bowman.
Yeah, Bowman is...
sorry, we've got Terra in the pits, so he's coming in for his final pit stop as George sets another fastest lap, 17.4, so George looking pretty rapid out there on those soft tires. And Terra going on to mediums for his final stint.
I don't think George can make it till the end. I think he'll have to pit again.
Oh yeah, he's on those soft tires
as well. So
he's probably thinking maybe if I can stretch it and go soft for his final stint as well, and hopefully the good pace off the softs. I mean, there is quite a lot of pace in the softer tire compound at this track, so hopefully he'll be able to make it work for him and finish high in the points.
Yep, as both the AlphaTauris go past Bowman, who has lost a lot of pace now on these really old hards. There's SLR pitting for soft. I don't know if he can go till the end with those new softs.
Yeah, I think he can. I mean, we had yesterday's race, Cursed. I think he did like 13, 14 laps on the softs. I reckon if you just take care of them on a fresh set, should get to the end. And again, a lot of time penalties coming in here. We'll just flash up the info of the time penalties, but look at that. We've got a lot of guys rocking 6 seconds, 9 seconds. Radia's still in those 14 seconds, but a whole bunch of guys on 3 seconds as well. And we're seeing a lot of guys doing their final pit stop right now. We've got Bowman in, we've got Tilda in as well. And I think, yeah, over these next few laps, it's going to be, you're going to see all these medium guys come in for fresh set of, I would say soft then, you know, for the final stint.
Yeah, definitely should be softs. So far they did soft medium, so they're going for another soft compound, which they had because qualifying was with wet tires, so they'll all have fresh softs available.
The Mercedes drivers currently running P12, P13, not been the best of days for the Mercedes car. Wimpy often jokes that it's the cursed car, and I think it's this race is just going to further compound that theory. We've got
and Matthias pits.
Yeah, XP now in the lead of this race, but yeah, Matthias in the pits comes out P3. on soft tires.
Yeah, and he now has 10 laps to go past Motocrosser, who's going to the end on those hards. So, yeah, let's see. I think he can do it
Ooh, Radius going off
fairly
track
easily.
there. Sorry, Radius in P6 going off track there. I think, did he get overtaken by Joel, or I think he maybe was trying to get a move done on Joel, but had to go off track to do that, and gets a bit of opposite lock there coming out of that corner. So Joel is making these hard tires work for him, as he's seeing these medium runners that are still out on these old medium tires starting to struggle a little bit.
As we have now George still on those softs, approaching Radeos. I don't. Maybe he'll pit this lap,
Yeah,
George.
I think he will,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh no, he doesn't. But Radeos pit.
Yeah, so George staying
So
out. Radius in the pits for his final pit stop. Will be putting on soft tire compound. But he's falling down the order for now, but we should see him come through again. There's a bunch of guys on fresh softs here, so they are a danger to these guys in the top 10. We'll try and keep an eye on that as best we can, but look at this gap up front. Matthias is closed up within DRS range already, over one lap, showing you the absolute dominance of pace that softs have over mediums, or sorry, over these hard tires.
yeah, and he's so fast through these S's. I think he'll maybe. No, I don't think he has a good enough run. He disables DRS to not be too close to Motocrosser in this stadium section. So yeah, I think it'll be an easy move down the straight, the finish straight. So
Yeah, some smart driving there from Matthias.
but look at Joel and Janis Correas, who are also on a one stop strategy. They are all ahead of Ace Boy and well, Terra had that incident, but Ace Boy and Cursed have dropped with a two stop strategy. So
Oh yeah, I'm got Ace Boy's just making his way past Keyboard Magnuson then, so Ace Boy's another one of these fresh soft runners, making his way through the field again. He's up to P5 for now. And closing in on the back of P4, Joel 8. It's in a yellow flag as well in the last
there's a
sector.
Ferrari.
I don't
Is
think
it
that's...
Torska?
It must be Turska, yeah. Oh, and he's in the pits. Is Turska off these hard tires? He has damaged his front wing, so not the best race for Turska today.
Yeah, he was hoping to go to the end on those hards. No, he'll have to make an extra pit stop. Kebab going for a move on Daddy Otis on the inside, and Futuristic really close in front of him. Kebab has to brake really hard not to hit Futuristic, who's trying to go for a move on Bowman. They're on fresh soft, so
yeah, Bowman
should be a
actually,
good battle.
Bowman got that position on the main straight there, so he got past Futuristic. So Futuristic's trying to hang on to the back of him and get that move back. Is Bowman going very wide for the S's? So as we are approaching the last stint of this race, or in the final phase of this race, it's penalties. That's what we're looking at right now. We're going to look at these penalties. There's no way we can kind of untangle who's going to do who's going to do what as they cross the line. But look at that, everybody but 3 now have penalties.
Yeah, and Matthias Motocross and Aceboy doing a really good job of not having any penalties. Aceboy at this point will jump both Janis Correas and Joel, who are in front of him. If he doesn't, obviously, if he doesn't overtake them on track.
Yeah, I think he's lining up for a move here behind Joel. He does activate his DRS before the stadium section. Gets the move done. Oh, Joel! No, I thought Joel was like being passive there and letting him pass, but Joel says no. I actually think it would have been better if Joel let him pass and get That meant Joel would have got this DRS for the next 2 straights, but Joel choosing to fight this position, and now he has Ace Boys behind him with DRS, ERS, and a bit of slipstream as well.
Yep. Joel now has to worry about Keyboard Magnussen and XTXP behind him. But they're on XTXP on those softs as well, but he has lots of penalties.
So the question is, right now we've got what 6 laps after this one. Can Ace Boys? I mean, Ace Boys is looking good for a podium. He's got Chris with a time penalty ahead of him on hards, so I reckon that's going to be in the bag. But is he going to be able to catch up with Motocross here? Is it too much of an ask? 9 seconds over 6 laps? What do you reckon, Gerda?
Sorry, you're talking about who?
We've got Ace Boys. Yeah, guess Ace Boys a 3-lap old sauce, looking really pissy right now.
Oh, on a motocrosser.
Yeah. I wonder if that's possible.
I don't think it's possible. I think motocrosser will keep this P2. Ace Boy would have to pull a really big gap in just 5 laps or 4 laps. So, and they don't have penalties. So, yeah, I think it's a really hard job for Ace Boy to get into P2 right now.
Oh, and XP gets past his teammate. He is up to P5, but he does have... Wow, XP has 15 seconds of penalty, so... Yeah, Joel again. Not fighting that one too much. Probably no point in doing so if he's got that many penalties.
Kebab and Futuristic might be going for a move on Bowman now. They have been switching positions between themselves, so as Futuristic approaches Bowman, he's a little bit too far to try and move into turn 1, but now Kebab, if he gets a good run, which he does, let's see if he can make a move on Futuristic.
Futuristic guarding the inside line, yeah, and Kebab trying to go around the outside. Oh, and Futuristic cutting that corner massively there. He probably thought Kebab was closer than he really was.
Dadiotis from behind Kebab. No! Dadiotis goes into Kebab. You probably can't see Dadiotis, right? But Dadiotis...
Yeah, I saw the spin. I just didn't see the contact, yeah.
Yeah, that was Dadiotis who came from behind Kebab and overtook him on the outside, and they make contact. Kebab spun, but no damage, I think.
And we got Ace Boys. He gets up to P3 on track then, and he's got 6.2 seconds. What do you... I don't know, man. I'm not... if I was motocrosser, I wouldn't be feeling too confident right now. 6 seconds behind. I mean, if he gets 5 seconds... if he cuts out that 5-second gap, he will be on DRS range. So we'll try and keep an eye on that there, as you can see that time tumbling down quite quickly.
Yeah, maybe I was wrong. Maybe Ace Boy does have the pace, but yeah, let's see. As Curse trying to make a move on keyboards. Keyboard obviously doesn't make that easy for Curse.
We've got another battle here, Wimpy and Tilda. And Wimpy choosing not to send it down the inside of that one. Tilda is on the soft target. Oh, and Wimpy sends it on the inside of the double right-hander. What a move from Wimpy, but he isn't able to make it stick. Tilda getting the better traction as they go side by side for the S's, and Wimpy, yeah, Wimpy gets that move done, but he had to cut the track to get that done. Terror there with a time penalty pop on the screen. Wimpy getting that move done for the S's, but yeah, he had to massively cut.
And what happened to Keyboard Magnussen? He lost so many positions.
And he's in the wall. He's got a puncture. Yeah, he's a front left puncture, and he has to pull into the pits. I mean, if you're going to get a puncture, that's probably where you want to get it, is around the final corner as you're about to pass the pits.
Yeah, but that's really weird to get a puncture. He only has 17 laps on those hards.
Yeah, but the thing about that is he's on the keyboard, and that is notorious for high tire wear. So, unfortunate for him.
Is that... There's someone slow. Is that Torska? Oh yeah, that's Torska. Turn 1 now, being lapped.
And Ace Boy's not really closing in too fast on Motocrosser anymore. The gap is down to 5 seconds, but we've only, what, 2 laps after this one. And I think, you know, maybe the kind of like the prime life of these soft tires is starting to see better days.
Yeah, I think at this point the softs are not on their peak, so they're already a bit slower, and their pace should be. They should have the same pace, I would think.
So I'm looking at these penalties again, and I'm thinking at the minute, as things stand, I think G Chris looks like he will get P4. As Joel has 6-second penalty. So Joel probably going to pick up P5. XTXP is going to fall way down the order with a 15-second time penalty. Maybe Terror will jump Curse, maybe get P6, I'm thinking. But there's still a couple of laps to go. Anything can happen. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. It looks like Torska's called it a day in the pits.
Yeah, Torska wasn't having a good race from the beginning. He struggled a bit in qualifying, and then didn't have much pace in the race as well. So as we're on the penultimate lap, we have Terror close to Cursed. Terror will overtake Cursed over on penalties, but maybe, of course, he wants to do it on track as well.
Keyboard Maxon a time penalty for himself there. He's race going from worst to worst, and I tell you what, I in that race yesterday I was P7 as I crossed the line, and I jumped to P3, and it was only because
sorry Chief, there's XXP going on the outside of Ace Boy.
Yeah, and there is contact, but they make it through safely. Ace Boy's getting that move.
Oh,
just about. Hold on to
that. Yeah, it looked like Ace Boy was about to spin there. With a little touch of XTXP, but yeah, Ace Boy was on 3 seconds from Motocrosser, and XTXP now, with that fight, makes Ace Boy lose that time.
And XTXP picking up another time penalty, and he looks like he's going to go around the outside of the stadium section. They're locking up wheels there. I have to be very careful for here. It's very easy to just get spun out with the slightest contact. These cars are quite slow, and there's a lot of steering angle or steering input going on.
Oh, Tilde is around.
Oh yeah.
After the second straight, he spins.
Oh, Wimpy as well. Wimpy's off.
Oh, I think he has. Oh no, he doesn't have a puncture, Wimpy. But yeah, I think something happened to him as well.
Yeah, I think Tilda and Wimpy came together. I saw them fighting there for a good few laps, so that's not worked out well for Wimpy or Tilda.
And now Ice Boy is ahead of XTXP again, and he's 3 seconds from Motocrosser again, so I don't think that will be enough for him. Unfortunately for him, XTXP tried to have a move which slowed him down. If it wasn't for that, maybe Ice Boy could have caught up with Motocrosser.
Yeah, I think that battle has cost him a lot. Oh, and oh my word, that I have a decent car of 8 Adiotas got smashed there by both Ace Boys and XP.
I think that didn't really happen.
Yeah. But look at this, Mateus crossing line, a commanding victory from the man himself, and Ferrari's consistency as is basically as one of his biggest values is Mateus, and he made it count today, no penalties, and just basically stretched his legs there out in front. I think the first lap was really where he that win was being contested, but P2 goes to Motocrosser in the one-stop strategy. Ace Boys indeed gets P3, and as I was forecasting, G Chris P4, Joel 8 P5, and then we've got Terror P6. XTXP dropped right down to P7, and then we got Kirsten P8. George MS, a great finish from him, P9. Radius picking up the final points paying position in P10.
And Kebab spins on the castle section before finishing the race. Yeah, the AlphaTaurs didn't have a good race either. And Wimpy retired on a pit in the last lap, so he didn't want to make another lap in this circuit. So yeah, that's our race. Really good victory from Matthias. Really consistent with no penalties. He was in the lead for. Was he in pole position? No, Motocrosser was in pole position, right?
Yeah, I think it was that first lap
Yeah.
really where it got where that lead got contested, and Matthias he was on the softer tire compound. I believe Moto was on the mediums, and
Yeah.
switched to hards then. So Matthias making the two-stop strategy pay off, and lifts the trophy, wins. I don't think we've seen Matthias win for quite a while. He's always been there in the mix, but today, I think Mexico is one of these tracks that really, it'll make or break you. Like you saw a lot of guys there have a few incidents, and then just from there, their races went downhill. And it's that kind of track. It really can. I've had those races before myself at Mexico, where you just get completely, your almost your mental stamina just takes a beating, and then you just end up picking up loads of penalties or getting into loads of incidents or whatever. So Mateus keeping it clean, keeping it consistent, and picking up the race win there. So great job from him, and hopefully we can get a wee chat with him after the race here. What
Yeah.
about driver of the day though, Gerda? What are you thinking? A lot of good drives out there today. Who would you say driver of the day is for this one?
Yeah, there was a lot of good drives. Janice Correas comes to mind with a really good recovery. Terra also got a good recovery from when he spin, but I think I would give driver of the day to Matthias. He's really been really consistent. Overtook motocrosser in the first couple of laps, and then just ran away with it. Good strategy, good pace, good consistency. So yeah, I would vote for him.
Yeah, I think that he's definitely a strong contender. I mean, anyone in chat, what do you reckon? Driver of the day, who's your pick? We're thinking Matez right now, but we may be swayed if there's a good argument to be made otherwise. But for now, we're going to head to the screen, and we're going to have a look and see who's waiting for us in voice chat. Let me have a wee look. I'm hoping to speak to Matez, hopefully, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully we can get him. Let me try and message Matthias.
Okay, right. I'll bring in someone for a wee chat. Let's see who we've got. Let's see. We'll bring in brother Joel. So, hello Joel. How is it going, sir? You're in the commentary booth with myself and Gerda. Great race from you today. I mean, just tell us about how it was out there. You had that wet qualifying to get through, but you set some pretty good lap times there. Was able to put you in the top 10, and then from there, then the race was what it was. So, I mean, how was it for you?
First of all, I hate this track, so I'm very happy with the P5 and close to a P4 as well. I was pushing really hard on that last lap to get the back gap, but I came in I started the race thinking I was going to do a 2-stop, but then I just saw my pace compared to everyone else, and I was like, right, I'm going to have to do the 1-stop to get a top 5 here if that's what I'm aiming for. So I made it work. I was tempted to pit for softs with like 9 laps to the end, but Terra said no, and it was probably the right call. So yeah, not much great pace, but I kept it consistent. Minimal penalties. I mean, it's 6 seconds, but some guys had like 15, I think. So I got a few positions on the line from that.
Yeah, we picked up, under the final stint. Then you were under a lot of pressure from those fresh soft runners, and there was a moment there where I think it was going into the stadium section. Was it Ace Boys was getting past you, and you kind of fought him a bit, and I was kind of questioning that because you get those 2 DRS straights coming up, on the main straight and the one after. So I was thinking, would it not have been better for you to let him pass at that point and then get the DRS, so at least you could hold on and maybe get a bit of pace out of that?
Well, I'd already had a few, I think another soft runner get past me before in that same place. And literally by the time I got to the DRS zone, they were out of range. So I would have got DRS, but they would have been too far to catch up by the end of the straight. But I mean, there's probably the better option to do that. But anyway, it was a bit of contact, and I thought it was a bit dirty what I did. I sort of pushed him onto the grass, so I let him pass the next corner, just out of gratitude.
Yeah, and obviously you have a bit of a name for yourself, for picking up these penalties, but there was no real safety car today or VSC. You didn't get a speeding pit lane penalty, so that's a success. You did get you got some track penalties. I think you had 6 seconds at the line, but Mexico is notorious for that. And yeah, you're obviously pushing a good bit, so it is very hard to keep within those track limits. But 6 seconds, not bad. And as you said there, P5 in the bag. Were you hopeful that you might get that P4 because you had Correas ahead of you? I think he had 9 seconds. So, or did you think he was just out of reach?
Well, like 3 laps to the end, it was starting to pull away, and I didn't think I could get it until the last lap when I saw I closed like 5/10 in the first sector of the last lap. So the rest of the lap, I just looked at the track and didn't look at any gaps or anything, just pushed and then found I was 2/10 off. But oh well. I mean, Mexico's literally my worst track on the calendar, so I'm very happy with a P5.
Yeah, it's a tough track. I was saying on stream there, it can make or break you because it can be, when you start getting those time penalties, you're like, oh God, here we go again. But yeah, you stuck with it and you made the one-stop strategy work. So P5 in the bag, good job, my man. And how are you feeling about the next track, which is Brazil?
I like the track. I'm not too quick at it, but I'd say it's like an average pace track for me, so should be able to get another decent result if I keep it clean.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll see some more podiums before the season's out.
Yes.
You had that win last season, or sorry, last season. And yeah, I think you're one of the stronger, one of the faster guys anyway in Tier 3. So yeah, I can see it coming. I can see another win or two maybe coming in for you, but we speak after. And thanks for joining us in the commentary booth. Appreciate it.
No problem.
And next up we have the race winner.
Yeah, we have Matthias ready for the interview.
Yep, we'll bring him in. So, Matthias, you're joining us in the commentary booth, myself and Gerla here. Yeah, I mean, just tell us how your race was.
There's not really much to say. For one time, everything worked. The server didn't lag, the game didn't freeze, and there was no safety car, so I knew I had the pace to win. So when I took the lead after the second corner, I just pushed and didn't look back.
Yeah, it was a very commanding drive from you, and I mean, I was saying on stream, you're one of these guys. Like, I think your main kind of quality, other than being pretty fast, is you're consistent, and we saw that today. You were just banging in those laps, no penalties, and yeah, you had motocrosser behind you, but he's on that one stop, and you just made it work for you today. Yeah, were you ever anxious at any point, like the safety car is just going to come out at some point and just ruin, just compromise your race, with that gap you built up?
Yeah, of course, it's every lap you think the safety car is going to come out, since I think this is the first race in like 10 races where we have not had a safety car, so you always think it's going to come out, but it didn't today, and some of the cars on the other strategies, it just didn't work for them, and it worked for me, so.
And at what point were you like, I could win this here, Riss? Were you pretty confident from lap 1 onwards, or was there a certain lap where you're like, hold on a minute, this is it, I've got this?
There was always the doubt that I was on the wrong strategy because I hadn't tested the medium-hard strategy. So I didn't know what to expect from the cars that were on it. But when I was halfway through the medium stint and saw that motocrosser was just, 4 seconds ahead of me when he pitted for the hards, I knew that I could just catch him on the softs in the end.
Yeah, that first lap you had on that final stint on the softs, you were absolutely rapid in comparison to motocross. I think it was like a 3-second deficit was you got that in the bag after the first lap, so we're pretty much, yeah, Mateus going to win this one. We didn't want to curse you too much on the stream, but yeah, I mean, like I say, consistency, no penalties. So you actually got driver of the day as well. I mean, Gerda called
Thank
it
you.
there, and chat agree with us. So yep, commendable drive. And when was the last time you actually won a race, Mateus? Because you've always been up there, but
It was Vietnam, because I won the 3 first races of the season, and then I just had a horrible drought ever to now. So
yeah,
a
so
long time ago.
so the victory tasted rather sweet then.
Yeah.
For this one, I'm sure. Yeah. Well. Thanks for taking the time to come in and be interviewed by ourselves. I've only one last question. Then we've got Brazil next. How are you feeling about that one?
I don't really know. Previously I haven't really been that fast at Brazil, but I think that this game fits my driving style more than the 2019. So we'll see. But I don't know.
So yeah, I mean Brazil is a fan favorite, but it's quite a tough track. Yeah. Especially that infield section.
Yeah,
Um,
very technical. So
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see next week then. But yeah, great drive from you, and it was great to watch. So thanks for joining us in the commentary booth. I'll put you back into the main chat then, okay?
okay.
Alrighty, and who else have we got then? Let's bring in Kirst. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. So Kirst, how are you, sir?
Hello.
P8.
Meh. In summary, meh. I was quite happy with quali. I was pretty pleased. P4, I don't know if I got that last lap in without invalidating, then maybe could have been top 3, but who knows. And then it was pretty hollow from that point on. Game crashed at the end of quali. It disconnected me at the end of the formation lap, and then it was a grind from that point onwards.
Yeah,
So,
I was wondering if you got that, that bug, because you disconnected with the cold tire temps where they're like minus 260 something stupid like that.
thankfully not. I was like, I hopped back in. I had a grip. I was like, oh, thank Christ, because I was not fit a race with minus 270-degree tires. I'd have been so depressed.
Yeah, I did have a quick look in your cockpit, to check the steering wheel. I saw the tire temps were kind of, normal, so I was like, all right, yeah. At least there's that, But
I got away with it a bit, yeah.
yeah, it's a good drive. I mean, you got P8. It is a bit of a step up in competition from Tier 4. So yeah, I mean, without those time penalties, who knows?
Yeah, time penalties again were an issue, and I don't know. Like, they shouldn't really be an issue because I know I can. If I use my 2 brain cells, I know I can not get 15 seconds of penalty, which is the exact same thing I said in Tier 4 yesterday, but 12 seconds. But this time I got more. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a tough
I did
track.
like-
It is a tough track because
Yeah.
you get to get that balance between trying to push and also the track penalties.
Mm.
You saw my drive yesterday. I basically just went completely on the side of not pushing at all. Not
Can go low and get a podium, easy clap.
exactly, yeah. But I don't think that works in Tier 3. That strategy. I think you have to have a good bit of
And-
pace. But
Yeah, I guess safety car also would have been useful, but yeah.
well,
like-
that's always the way. When you want a safety car, there's none. Whenever you don't want one, there's about 5 of them.
There is, yeah.
One after the other. But yeah, a good drive for me today, man. And hopefully we might see in Tier 2 or 1 before the week's out then.
Maybe.
It's all practice, so expect great things from me tomorrow then. No pressure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
good luck for tomorrow.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, all the best. Cursed. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
I always assume if people are in voice chat that they want to have an interview, but that's not always the case. And I'm thinking Terror and Futuristic are in there. Will we bring them in for a bit of a chat?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Go
So,
ahead.
Yeah. So Terror, you're in the commentary booth. Myself and Gerda, didn't go your way today. You seem to have pretty good pace out there. But yeah, just talk us through what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's watching and is sort of wondering, sort of having having good pace and not the results that you want. Just watch my race today, because like I made so many. It was just like a really, really poor race, like very, very poor judgment, very poor decision making. Just like first of all, qualifying was fine. I qualified P3. That's probably about where I was in terms of pace, so pretty good. Totally okay. Decided to go softs for the start. That was probably a mistake, but maybe not. But it did mean that I had to sort of be in an aggressive mindset to try and make my way past the people that had started on mediums, and that was sort of where things started to go downhill, because I was just doing silly things in traffic. Like I had a half spin with motocrosser in the first 4 laps or so, 4 or 5 laps. Which again was just me putting my nose on the inside where I really shouldn't have, and just got spun around for it, which was deserved. So I lost a couple of seconds from that. Was still in the race, like okay. I was like 4th or so, pitting for the mediums, and things were mostly okay. Then it came time in the second stint to get through traffic, and I was just like way too aggro against Beaumont, who I think didn't leave me much space. But he was, within his right certainly to race me for it, and probably I shouldn't have been on the inside anyway. So I got spun around a second time, and this one was much worse. It cost me like 10 seconds, and that sort of ended any real chance I had at the podium, unless there was a safety car. Also, I got 6 seconds of penalties, so I was pushing too hard and not being disciplined. So it was just like one of those races where, one thing happens and that puts you, it tilts you slightly and puts you in the mindset where you have to do superhuman things for the rest of the race if you want a good result, and then you try and do superhuman things, and of course something else goes wrong, and then it just sort of snowballs from there. I recovered okay in the third stint, drove pretty well in that stint, got overtaken by Miloš, who was on softs. I made a strategy mistake as well. I should have been on softs for the third stint, but stayed with Miloš for the rest of the race, and I think got a position on XTXP that I wouldn't otherwise have got. Couldn't get to Joel though, and couldn't get to Janice, who had a bunch of penalties. That would have been P4. But I mean, it was one of the. I mean, I threw away what was probably a podium. I think there were 4 drivers. Well, Matthias dominated the race. Very good drive from him. And I think I was in the sort of second group of motocrosser Ace Boy and me, which would have been fighting it out for the 2 other spots on the podium. But yeah, just a really poorly driven race, and all my own fault. Like there was nothing, some of it was like circumstantial, but most of it was just like it was a failure of discipline basically. That whole race from me was ill disciplined, and I paid the price. So yeah.
And I mean, I'm listening to you, and I'm looking at the screen here, and it's in Terror P6. So considering all those things, P6 is actually pretty good finish. Considering all the things you developed for.
Not too bad. With even one of those things not happening in the early part of the race, it probably would have been P4, because I think there was a bit of a gap from Ace Boy to Janice, or whoever was it, Ace Boy or Motocross that finished third, I don't remember. To Janice.
Yes, boys. Yeah.
Yeah. So P4 was like, P4 was the minimum I should have gotten though. And P6 is, it's fine considering. It's still okay points, and there's not a huge amount of difference between that and P4. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those races that is, and it happens from time to time. Like you go through a season, and you sort of, and if your mindset is sort of too far one way or the other, like too far from aggression, too aggressive, too passive, you that either one of those is costly. So sort of throughout the season, you're sort of trying to calibrate where the balance should be, and it happens from time to time that I'm too far to the aggressive side and do silly things, and it's just like it's a reality check in that sense, and so you can't dwell on it too much. Like it's a sort of natural process of driving lots of races in a season. It happens occasionally. You get to the point where you try things that you shouldn't, but the important thing is to learn from it, and for next time not to do it. So yeah.
And then next week we got another track coming up. Then Brazil, fan favorite, one of yours?
Yeah, Brazil would be fun. I like that track. I actually don't mind Mexico. I was saying to Joel, because Joel absolutely hates it, and I prefer Mexico to Kota, which isn't saying that much. I really don't like Kota. But I don't, it's Mexico's like okay. It's only really the third sector that feels painful.
Yeah.
And it's a track limit fest as well, which isn't great. But the S is a fun. There's a couple of satisfying corners. I think the slow double right I think is quite satisfying to get right. So I don't hate it, but yeah, I mean Brazil obviously is a fantastic track, and I'm really looking forward to that. I think I don't know. I mean, I've no idea how fast I'm going to be there. I've not done a Brazil League race in a long time, actually. Probably since one of the early 2 SRL seasons. So it'll be fun to do. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, and you've had a good few wins under your belt this season in Tier 3, so are you thinking maybe this is the next one? Brazil, possibly? You
I
fancy
mean,
your
I think
chances?
I think there's a chance. I mean, I think there's several quick drivers who I think you can throw a blanket over on most tracks over Joel, motocrosser Matthias, myself, Ace Boy if he races. Who else am I missing there? Wimpy as well on his day as well as pretty quick. So I think there's I think there's 4 or 5 of us that potentially can win races. And to actually win these races is just a question of making sure that I'm not taking penalties, and B just maximizing what I've got, which I think I certainly didn't do today, but I've done that a couple of times this season so far, so no reason why I can't again at Brazil.
Yep. Well, I, for one, look forward to it. Tier 3 is, like you've mentioned, a lot of drivers there, but yeah, I always look forward to the Tier 3 race. Because of the lineup here, it's quite a good lineup. Like I say, you got Wimpy and that cursed Mercedes. I think you're maybe some of that curse rubbed off on you today, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I mean something, and this is no this is no sort of shade towards Wimpy, but I dislike saying that it's a curse or it's bad luck, because I mean certainly in my case today I wouldn't say that. It was you got I personally like, even if there's incidents like that where weren't completely my fault, but they were at least somewhat my fault. I try to take responsibility for those. Like I think it's important to do that, just to help your sort of mindset as a driver and to help you grow as a driver. You got to take responsibility for where you are on track and whether you can be yeeted at a certain point. Some incidents there's nothing you can do about, but for the most part that's generally not true. Having said that, Wimpy has had some very bad luck this season.
Yeah.
So it's it swings and roundabouts, but yeah, I try not to think of it as like a case of bad luck. In my case, I don't think it was bad luck today. I think it was poor discipline.
Yeah, I
So
think there's a saying, isn't there? You make your own luck sometimes, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
well, Wimpy, I mean, if you look at Russia, for example, yeah, it's completely out of his hands. But like, I know,
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, a lot of the incidents I get involved in, even when it's proved that I'm not at fault, I still look at it and go, what could I have done wrong? Did I put myself in that position, for that guy to be alongside me in that corner because of a bad exit from the previous corner, that kind of mindset. So I think
Yeah, absolutely. And
every,
I mean, oh, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say every incident, I think you can learn and grow as a driver. You can kind of,
Mm.
you can look at what you could have done better, what way you kind of, or what inputs you put into the game that made you be in that position to be, span out or whatever, or get hit contact. But I think I've just got a
Yeah.
really guilty conscience just because of the way I've been brought up. I'm just like, no matter what it is, it's my fault every time.
But I mean, it's not to say that it's not to say that it's your fault necessarily. But like I mean, the Beaumont incident, for example, I think that was probably a racing deal. I think it was 50-50. But when it was apparent, because Beaumont was on much older tires and was much slower, when it was apparent that he was going to fight the position, I can't be where I am in those corners. Like it's a huge risk to try and stay alongside through turns 2 and 3. of another car that is just very slightly ahead. So like, you know, even if, you know, he possibly has to leave space, and I'm not even sure that he does have to leave space. I didn't get a good look at it, and my recording corrupted as well, which is annoying.
Yeah,
But
we actually caught that
you know,
on
I can't be
stream,
there.
Terror, so you can have a look at it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. But yeah, I mean, it felt at the time like it wasn't really my fault, but like I definitely shouldn't have been putting my nose in there. Like it's inviting contact, and it's, you know, it's just taking a huge risk.
Yeah. So with that said, I will move you back into the chat. I'm gonna have one last interview with Futuristic. So Terror, hopefully we'll see you on track next week then, and good luck for that one.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks very much. Thanks for the commentary, guys.
Yeah, so Futuristic patiently waiting here. Now, Futuristic just finished outside the points in P11. I think we caught you on stream a few times on a few incidents, so just talk us through that, your race and what happened, Futuristic.
I got the front wing damage on lap 1 in the baseball hairpin when I hit the XTXP in the back. But I paid a bigger price, unfortunately. And then it was pretty solo race from there.
Yeah, and did you think at any point, were you just hoping for a safety car, or were you thinking you might be able to get back into contention, you know, at least in, you know, into the points at least?
Well, the only thing I could have got to do to get into the points with the decision I made on lap 1 on the mediums, I thought it was soft was the only option from lap 23 to get back in the points, to use the fresh rubber to catch up to the guys ahead and hope for a major undercut. But with 87% tire wear, it's pretty hard to catch up to someone.
87.
It doesn't matter what tire they are on.
Wow,
So
that does not
it was a
sound
pretty
good.
long little race.
Yeah, Mexico can be like that. It's quite it can break you as a driver, break your spirit. But I'm just thinking, like, you know, thinking about Hungary earlier in the season, you were a guy, and you are still a guy that can contend for podiums and possibly the race winner. How are you looking at Brazil? Are you thinking this is one where you can get back on the top step?
Not in Brazil particularly, but I think Abu Dhabi is, on the previous games, it has been a really good track for me. So I'm more like looking forward to Abu Dhabi, but there's still one race in Brazil before that, and well, it's a league race, so everything can happen.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm thinking, you know, here's a wee top tip for you is, and this is what I'm going to do. I hear there is a Brazilian specialist in the league. He goes by the name of Hammer. He's pretty rapid around there, so I'm thinking we get a coaching session and we get him to bring us up to speed on that track, because I think he knows a few things that maybe some other drivers don't, and that might be the key to victory. So yeah. Drop him a wee,
Sounds like a plan.
yeah, drop him a wee message, maybe get his PayPal, and we can see what we can do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully, yeah, like I say, hopefully we'll see you back in contention for the podium in the coming races then. But for now, I think we're about done with the interview. So thanks very much for your time, Futuristic, and we'll put you back into the general chat.
Yep. Thank you.
Gerla, final thoughts here. I'm just thinking about this curse. I mean, we're saying that, you know, the curse isn't real. I have two thoughts, right? One is there's a guy called Cursed who is pretty cursed, it has to be said.
Yeah.
But the other one is watching Coda last week, and the commentator's curse. It's definitely real.
Yeah, that's real. That I can guarantee that's real.
Yeah,
With
but
what happened last race.
I was very careful not to, you know, say anything too good about drivers today, you know, in case that happened again. But yeah, that was a classic. I think that was a classic moment in SLR history where Sonny just called it, and then it happened straight away, like literally straight away afterwards on the next corner. But yeah, I think that rounds it up for now.
Just let me just say, I was here doing the maths, and the the only way Matthias can win the championship now is if he win both races, and in both he has to have the fastest lap, and Motocrosser doesn't finish in the points for both of them. So it's, yeah, I think it's close to impossible for Matthias now, but it's still possible.
Yeah, statistically possible. Now, I mean,
Yeah.
it will be a bit of a stretch for him to win it, of course, you know, given what you just said. But Motocrosser has, I think he didn't make the last two races due to connection issues. Now, I'm not trying to curse him here, but you know, anything can happen. If that does happen, now he's going to blame me. But yeah, anything can happen. As we've seen there, in the over the course of a season. But yeah, it's going to be a tall order. But yeah, I think that's it for now. I mean, as always, the live stream schedule for both 2SRL and SLR is in the video description. So if you want to know about the upcoming races, have a look there. But we do have Tier 2 tomorrow, and I believe, Gurley, you will be in that one. And you know, after watching today's race, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, well, I desperately need to get some points, but I haven't had much time to practice, so yeah, I mean, it will be a tough race.
Yeah, for sure. Tier 2 is it is the fastest assist drivers, and we do have some no assist guys in there as well, I should mention. But yeah, it's top level stuff in there, so it'll be, you'll need, what I would recommend is drink a cup of coffee if you drink coffee before the race, just to give you that laser sharp focus, and you can avoid those penalties
Yeah.
in. But yeah, good luck for that one. But that's all from us for now. We're gonna sign off and let everybody get back to it. Thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you again tomorrow. All the best now. Bye bye.
Yeah, but